Welcome back to another episode of Two Joes and a Pro. As always, it's your guy, Kenny, Ryan, and Brian. And we don't have energy this week.
I have energy. I don't know what's going on.
I don't.
What's going on?
Before I get into it, hey, do me a favor, like, comment, subscribe, and let's get to it. I have no energy today because the NBA All-Star Weekend was complete. My family out there, I apologize for my language. Why? Because the slam dunk contest, right, which was supposed to be good, right, was terrible. It was terrible. It was really terrible. Like, it was so bad that I almost told Tasha, like, hey, we can't. Let's go watch the cooking channel. Let's go watch Beat Bobby Flay, okay? Because that is better than watching this slam dunk contest. Dudes was doing 3 or 4 attempts on the dunk, and then when they did complete the dunk, it was still trash, right? Like, it.
Come on, what about the game itself?
The All-Star game was decent. It was what you expected, right? It wasn't NFL Pro Bowl. It wasn't that.
What do you mean? It's a three-point game.
What do you mean it wasn't? Man,
no, it was not.
Bro, they each scored 160 points.
They do that every year. They do that every year. They do that every year,
okay.
And then they in the first quarter it's like a show for the fans. Second quarter they tighten down a little bit. Third quarter they tighten down a little bit. And the fourth quarter they play for real, right? They play for real. They play a little defense for real because then it comes down to it. At the end of the day, Steph Curry balled out of his mind. He had 15 threes. He was going crazy
because nobody guarded him.
Well, why guard him?
You didn't watch the game. Did you see where he was pulling up from?
Wherever he wanted.
No, exactly. Wherever he wanted. He was crossing the half-court line, throwing it up and turning around like this with his hands up and was cashing in. A couple of shots he was shooting on the corner, he shot it, and he didn't even watch it go in. He just shot it, turned around and looked at the fan. It went in. It went in, and dapped the fans on. He's just on a ungodly level right now shooting the ball. Like, it's nasty.
18 years in a row for LeBron?
18 years for the role, yeah. He came in the league when he was 18, and now he's the 18 All-Stars. I saw him, shout that out, which is crazy in itself. That's a crazy accomplishment. And then the NBA 75, top 75 players of all time, they did that as well at the All-Star game, which is cool. Michael Jordan looked like he was blitzed. Like, he looked like because he came straight from that Daytona 500 was this weekend, I believe. He came straight from there, and they said he took the private jet, landed right into Cleveland, and he was lit. Like, I don't care what he said. He was lit. He was, like, hugging everybody. Like, what's up? My God. Like, he was dapping everybody up. They had him on the film, a clip, him rubbing Steph Curry back in Steph Curry's head. I was like, bro, what is he doing? Like, he was either drunk or he high, one of the two. Or he could be both. I don't know.
And he probably just won a bunch of money off of the damn race he was at.
Oh yeah, that's probably why.
Yeah,
his NASCAR team probably won or something like that, or they came in a good place where he's like, dang, I get some more endorsements. Yep. He probably was geek. But yeah, this second half is going to be interesting for the NBA. Anthony Davis, I don't know if I covered before he got hurt. So what's new for the Lakers, right? So we're probably going to miss Chris Paul. He ended up having a thumb injury, but he's been playing some of the best ball of his career. The Suns look really good. The Warriors are going to be scary with James Wiseman getting back into the swing of things. Klay Thompson starting to look like himself. It's going to get Draymond Green is still coming back, trying to get healthy. It's going to be crazy, and I think them having Jordan Poole and a lot of the younger guys last year play and get that experience is making them that much better. And then in the Eastern Conference, right, the 76ers, I hear it beep. Yeah, man, James Harden this, James Harden that. We'll see when he starts playing consistent, right? We'll see. But I think the Nets lucked up. I think Ben Simmons is actually going to do a little bit. And then the addition of Gordon Dragic That's a sneaky play that a lot of people are not paying attention to because they're not counting him out because he got shipped to Toronto and he really wasn't doing too much, right? But he still can hoop, man. You know what I mean? And then my last thing I want to ask you guys, J.J. Redick went off on Zion Williamson talking about him being essentially like a bad teammate because he didn't, welcome C.J. McCollum with open arms, right? He still hasn't talked to him. And, J.J. being a respectable guy, right? He was like, that's bull crap. Like, You can't do that, man. Like, you got a guy coming in, a franchise player that can help change the culture, and you don't even talk to him. And C.J. McCollum response was like, "Oh yeah, man. I haven't talked to him yet, but I heard from his camp." I'm like, what? So of course, we get on Zion pretty heavy here. So I want to hear Brian's take, and maybe Ryan has a take too.
No, Zion gets heavy on himself. Okay. But listen,
here we go. Hey, here we go.
Listen, man. Yeah, I agree with JJ Redick. I don't like Zion Williamson needs to grow up or something. Like, if he was brought into the league to be the leader of that team, so he needs to act like it.
Yeah.
When he's out there, he's the best player on the floor. When on his team, and so he needs to also be the leader of the team. So I completely agree with JJ Redick. I don't know. This guy doesn't want to be in New Orleans. I think that's the biggest problem. I think he really wanted the Knicks to get the number 1 pick that year, and he wanted to go to New York, and he didn't get his way. So he's, he thinks he's entitled. So he's got this little attitude, and I don't think he wants to be in New Orleans. So I think that's part of the reason why.
You're saying it's a fat suit?
I think it's not a fat suit. But I think that's
no.
I think that's part of the reason.
It's definitely not a fat suit. I tell you that. It's too much good cooking in New Orleans. It ain't a fat suit.
No, but I do think that's part of the reason why he might have a few extra pounds. Is he's probably not giving it his all to get back onto the court. Just my thought.
What's his contract like? I don't know how the NBA works.
What does he mean? What does he mean his contract?
Can he get out? Can he leave?
Nah, he's still in rookie. This is his 3rd year.
Yeah, but basically what he can do is, if he continues to do this kind of behavior, he can force his way out.
Yeah, they can cut him, of course, or release him, whatever the case may be. But why would you do that? You spent tons of money on him, right? Why would you do that, right? You kind of make him suffer. If you want to do that, make you suffer, bro. You know what I mean? But yeah. And then in the college front, nothing too crazy. I watched a couple games. Auburn, they lost to Florida, which is disappointing because they're one of these teams where you think they could do a lot, but they're kind of showing their true colors when they get into SEC play. Purdue's coming back on strong. They've been playing well of late. Kentucky, the same thing. They struggled in the beginning of the year. They've been playing well of late. Arizona, a sneaky team. They got those 10 o'clock games. Nobody really catches them, but they have a nice roster for sure when it gets into the March Madness. And then Gonzaga's Gonzaga, right? They're coming on towards the end. The conference play is really nothing to them. That's just a little warm up. They're just prepping for the March Madness. So it'll be interesting to see how things go. Houston, which I thought had a chance, they're kind of falling back a little bit, losing in conference play. So who knows, man? I don't know. It's going to be somebody that we're not paying attention to. I don't think it's going to be Gonzaga or Arizona, right? It might be a Purdue or Duke or Kentucky, something like that. Somebody that comes through and actually wins it all. But we got a couple weeks left before that starts. So that's all I have for NCAA and NBA.
All right. We'll get right into some hockey real quick. All-Star break is happening this weekend. Or no. No, it isn't. Never mind.
It was last
weekend. Jesus, I'm getting all confused.
Oh, my goodness.
Well, I get mixed up with basketball,
because you're a basketballer.
Look, the Eastern Conference, man, is pretty much locked up for playoffs. I mean, it's not mathematically locked up, but the difference between the 8 seed and the 9 seed is 9 points right now. That's pretty significant in hockey. It's unlikely that the playoffs will change for the Eastern Conference. So your top 8 teams, that's probably going to be who's going to be in there. And then as far as the West, you got a little battle going on for the 8 seed between LA, Anaheim, and Dallas. Probably the only 3 that really have a good shot at it. I said last week they got the trade deadlines coming up. I told you about a couple big names that moved already. And then another big name that might be on the way out is Marc-Andre Fleury. Is rumored to be connected to Boston. So they just lost Rask because he decided to hang it up again because he wasn't playing very well after the hip injury. So that would be a good improvement for the Bruins, and it might be a good little push for them because they are the 8 seed in the East, but they could be a scary 8 seed if they do stay in the 8 seed. And that's there's some other big names out there, but we'll cover those another time. We don't want to overload people with hockey because,
Explain the points to me.
Oh, the points. It's basically a win is 2 points. If you go to overtime, you get a point. So even if you lose in overtime, you still get 1 point for making the game go to overtime. So in order to make up, 9 points, that's 4 wins and an overtime loss. But you have to. That's also with the other team losing out. So like it's just.
So has there ever been a team? Unusual. Has there ever been a team that won more games than another team but didn't get in because of like
it's rare
because of overtime? Yeah, I'm sure it's rare, but I'm just saying I'm sure that there is a possibility that I won 40 games or whatever, 30 games or whatever it is, and you only won 29.
Right. But if you have 3 or 4 more overtime losses, then you get in over that. Yeah. I mean, it has happened. I can't think of off the top of my head what year, but it happens, especially if it's a tight playoff race. But
I wonder why they do that point system. I guess I get it. It's just kind of.
Well, I think it's to reward teams for actually making it to overtime. Because I don't know. It's just better. It's better to get an overtime loss than it looks better. You look more competitive, so you're the more competitive team than the teams that are just outright losing. So at least you get something out of it. So I can see the point. But like you said, it could impact the standings. Like you said, if there's a team that wins 1 or 2 more games, but they didn't have very many overtime games, and the other team did, and they get bounced.
Oh yeah, the Lightning has. How many wins do they have? 32. Oh, never mind. It's in order. It looks pretty good. Anyways, go ahead.
Yeah, right now. But you also have teams that have game. You have other teams that haven't played as many games, so you won't really notice it until the end. You know what I mean? Some teams have only played 50 games. Some teams have played 54. So there's a difference. But anyways, anything else?
No, sorry. Can't a guy ask a question? Look.
No.
You don't even watch hockey.
You better put that dang sigh away.
Start watching. Okay.
Okay, me watching is not going to answer the question about points in the playoff for playoffs.
All right. Well, I apologize.
I'm not asking you to explain icing or anything.
Oh, that's a little bit more convoluted because you can wave off icing. It's
okay.
Yeah. But anyway, real quick, MLB. There's a little bit of movement. They've been talking more this last week. They've actually been meeting 2 to 3 times a week. So they did cancel games through the 5th of March, I think, which is fine. That's just preseason. But I think that they are tracking towards possibly getting a deal done in time to make sure the season starts on time, which would be a very wise decision on their part because that sport needs all the help it can get. So I hope they start on time, and we'll see. We'll see if they can agree on the money. They're fighting over stuff that fans don't even care about. It's all about just money. The fans don't care. The fans want to see the product. That's it. And they're not even addressing issues like pace of play. Because games are going 4 hours now, and it's crazy. A game should be 2.5 hours tops. And so that's why they're losing.
I'd argue 30 minutes.
Well, people don't have time. People don't have time to watch a 4-hour game. You know what I mean?
No.
But you could say 2.5 hours. You could be okay, I can fit a game in. So, anyways, that's all. That's all I got.
All right. So we got football. Kenny just seems unmotivated right now. Are you okay?
I go ahead. I was really looking at some stuff for the NFL draft, but go ahead and continue. I'm not really a hockey fan or a baseball fan, so I was like, okay, whatever.
Hey, all right. So we'll be lighthearted real quick. We'll talk a little bit about the NFL honors that happened before the Super Bowl, but we'll cover it now. Rookie of the year, offensive rookie of the year. was Jamar Chase. So
Of course.
there you go. We knew that was
So
coming.
did we all win that?
No.
Did we all say Jamar Chase was going to be Rookie of the Year?
I can't remember, but I'm pretty sure that I did not say Jamar Chase, only because I figured it was like an obvious choice.
I predicted Jamar Chase. Just so you know.
I thought I said Jamar Chase too. I don't know.
Yeah.
Well,
but
you have him as like a top 5 receiver. So
my dark horse pick was second, Mac Jones. Just saying.
All right, man. Continue. We're not going to get started with this Mac Jones.
Garbage.
Anyways, did you not see him in the? Never mind. Did the playoffs? Come on, cut it out.
Playoffs?
Go ahead.
Hey, defensive player of the year.
I'm not here.
I think Kenny and I knew this was coming. Was T.J. Watt. I think Brian maybe agreed as well. That dude was so good this year. He was so
thought
good.
Aaron Donald deserved it, but that's fine.
No. This guy was a beast. This year.
Remember the games? We talked about the games. He didn't play as many games, and he still was cooking.
Yeah.
Still had crazy numbers.
I know.
Okay.
Yeah, buddy. All right.
Don't get me started, Ryan. Ryan, don't tell him not to get me started.
What are these? Ooh, the best moment of the year was Justin Tucker's 66-yard record-breaking kick. Cool.
That was not the best moment.
That wasn't?
The best moment of the year has to be doggone Kansas City versus Buffalo. Like the last minute and whatever that was.
Oh, well,
regular season.
They did regular season.
Yeah.
Okay, my bad. I didn't. Well, I should do some more reading.
Yeah, because you have to include the teams that don't make it.
Yeah,
like the Ravens.
totally.
I guess.
Yeah.
Hey, offensive player of the year was Cooper Kupp.
Of course.
I mean, that was well deserved. It was like real no surprise. The defensive rookie of the year was Parsons. Yeah, so couldn't.
And I called that too.
He did.
So can we just get past all that? We already know all that stuff. Address the elephant in the room for NFL honors. Who won MVP? Because I swear Brian told me it was somebody, but I don't know who exactly their right name was. Can you tell me who the MVP is?
It was not Tom Brady.
Snubbed.
It wasn't?
He got snubbed.
It was Aaron Rodgers.
That's cool.
That's what I thought.
Yeah.
2 times in a row.
Yeah,
Aaron Rodgers.
2 times in a row. Well, he's won 4.
So I guess the question to you,
row.
Ryan, is efficiency better than top stats?
What do you mean?
Do you think so? Is being more efficient? Is that better than having the most yards, the most everything? Is that better?
I don't know, man.
That's
Do you think so or not? I don't know because it looks like the NFL thinks that efficiency counts more.
No. The people who voted think that. Okay.
And everybody in New England and Brian thinks that Tom Brady should win because he's 70 years old and he has the highest yards.
I mean, I already explained this. I explained the fact that it wasn't just because he was number 1 in all the stats. It was because he was significantly way beyond where Aaron Rodgers was in those stats. He beat the man by 1,200 yards passing. That's significant.
But he had 200 more passes.
Okay. So he was
when
more valuable to his team because the team needed him to throw the ball a lot more.
If I throw the ball a lot more, that means I'm more valuable to the man? Huh?
If you're producing.
No, cut it out.
And the man was producing.
I'm just telling you right now that when you multiply his numbers, right, Aaron Rodgers' numbers, his numbers were better. If you did the passing and completion, did the same average, his numbers were better than Tom Brady. That's why it counted. That's why they said, no, we're going to go with Aaron Rodgers because his efficiency is way better. And he only threw 4 interceptions, bro. He threw less interceptions than he did the year previously, and he threw 3 in the first game. Mm-hmm. So he threw 3 in the first game. He threw 1 in the next 17 or 16. That's crazy.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Aaron Rodgers only threw the ball 531 times, and Brady threw it 719. Like, yeah, you're gonna throw more yards when you throw the ball more, he only threw for 6 more touchdowns. Imagine if you took his average per game point or touchdown to interception ratio,
average ratio,
and yards, he probably would have outpaced.
He did. I did. He outpaced him in all the categories.
That's fine. But then if that is the argument you want to take, then why didn't Tom Brady beat Matt Ryan out back in 2018?
Bro, I can't talk
Just
about
saying.
what happened back in 1937.
But it was the
I
same
can only
argument.
tell you what happened.
And Brady lost. If you want to use that argument, then Brady should have won that year. That's all I'm
So
saying.
Brady's numbers back then. So Brady's numbers at that year, it was if you multiplied it, the same average was higher than him or no?
I think he only threw 2 picks that year, if I'm remembering correctly. He only played 12 games though, because that was the year he was suspended.
That's why Ryan has to fact check you, because you do a lot on the fly. You
Which
do
one?
a lot of shooting from the hip.
I think it was 2018.
What was the year
He's
Matt
talking
Ryan
about
won?
I think it was 2018.
Yeah, that's when they went to the Super Bowl that year. I believe it's 2018. Anyway,
No, it can't be 2018.
Maybe it was 16 then.
I was going to
maybe
say
it was
Pat
16.
Mahomes had 50 touchdowns that year.
Then it was.
see,
16.
that's what I'm saying. You messing me up, man.
Then it
I'm
was
following
16.
him. I'm listening to him. He does what, guys. He don't know why you do that, Ryan. Is that it? That's all we have for football.
Hold on. Hey, talk about Rodgers. He put out an Instagram post.
Oh, okay,
basically,
yeah.
thanking the fans, but he's not giving out any news yet. But there are reports from like camps basically saying that Rodgers is good. Like him and the Packers are good.
The GM. I just read something. The GM said they were like, "Oh, are you going to honor Aaron Rodgers trading him to a team that he wants to?" And the GM said, "We never agreed to that. I never said that." And everybody's like, "What?" We could have swore that's the reason why he came back with the odds that next year he'll be able to choose if he wanted to stay or if not, you guys would trade him. He's like, "No, we never agreed to that. Yeah, we never did any of that." I'm like, that's crazy. So. But it really is interesting. Devontae Adams will tell you what's happening right now. Right now, they're talking about Devontae Adams going to the Raiders, which is crazy. I don't know why he would go to the Raiders.
Why not?
Right?
His old college quarterbacks there.
That's true.
He likes Derek Carr. I mean,
listen. That's how he got to the league. Like,
yeah,
I get it.
You know what? I will say that I like that McDaniel's committed to Derek Carr, basically saying like Derek Carr is our man.
Why would you not?
He's a
I
good
agree.
quarterback.
He is
good
a good
enough to get you
quarterback.
somewhere.
He is a good
you gonna
quarterback.
What you gonna get? Kenny Pickett?
No. I just like that because usually when you bring in a new head coach and new GM, they want to pick their own guys, and they usually start getting rid of like the current roster. So I thought that was pretty cool.
Unless he was going to get Russell Wilson, he did his best thing to do, right?
Well, also
Stay behind your quarterback because there's nobody in the draft.
And real quick, 2016, what was your argument, Brian?
that
the year
Brady was
Matt
more
Ryan won.
efficient. Yeah, he was just a more efficient quarterback by
Brady?
his numbers. Yeah, if you multiplied his numbers out to a 16-game season, he had better numbers than Matt Ryan.
How many games did he play?
12.
He only played 12 that year?
Yes, because he was suspended for 4 games for Deflategate, which was a ruse.
Okay, so Brady had 8.2 yards per attempt. Matt Ryan had 9.3 yards per attempt. So he wouldn't have had more passing yards than him. And
Boy,
then,
stop.
He threw 28 touchdowns and 2 interceptions, which is pretty good. And
Yeah, that's good.
Matt Ryan threw 38 and 7. So I mean, I since you were already wrong about the passing yards, I'm not going to go figure out the touchdowns.
Yeah, we're not going to even do that.
You're just talking out of your ass now because you're probably going to be wrong there too. I don't.
But he was the more efficient quarterback. So
No, he
wasn't.
About the touchdowns, he's probably right on the touchdowns, right? It's probably calculating to like 38 and 4, 38 and 5 interceptions, right? But the fact that he said, if you look at the numbers, he would have been way better. That boy had 8.3 to 9.2. Cut it out.
Matt Ryan
is not even close.
Through 69.69999% of his completion percentage, and Brady was only at 67. in every statistical
67% to 70%. Come on, bro.
In every statistical category, Brady just was.
Everyone,
He just.
that's
could
why
not
you
keep-
fact check Brian. That's
Yeah.
why you fact check Brian, because he's going to trick you and shoot from the hip. That's what
Yeah.
he's doing. He tried to trick us.
I wasn't tricking you though.
But you was a little bit.
You like the
And-
low interception number. There you go. Brady had 2.
And his
Okay.
rating, Brady's rating was 112.2, and Matt Ryan, with the additional games, more time to have more mistakes, was 117.1.
Oh my gosh. Next. Next. We don't want to hear him. Go ahead, Ryan. Don't even waste your time. We don't want to hear anymore. It's done.
All right.
Case is closed.
Since we're talking about Brady as well, Brian, go ahead and give us the update on Brady.
Oh,
What's going on with him?
Brady is trying to make his way to San Francisco. He's not retired. He has yet to say the word retire. Just so you know, if you haven't been paying attention, he hasn't actually said, I'm retired. And I don't think he's done his paperwork. I don't think he's done any of that. Him and Arians butted heads. I told you that earlier in the year that they were not getting along. And yeah, like apparently now the news is starting to come out. There's someone leaked recently that Leftwich and Brady would work on the offensive game plan during the year or during the week. And then Bruce Arians was off rehabbing his Achilles because he had torn it. And I don't know how, probably overweight, but and then he'd
There
come
you
in,
go.
he'd come in later, like a couple days later, and he would start just redoing the game plan. And they just felt undermined, him and Leftwich. And
So how's that going to work next year? Leftwich ain't going nowhere.
well,
Leftwich stayed.
I know.
He didn't get the job in Jacksonville.
And that's unfortunate for him. But
Yeah.
Brady is not going to stay. And I think Brady is trying to find a way to strong arm his way out of so he can go to where he wants.
So what's the reason behind that, right? So like if he says he's retired and he comes back out, they still have rights to him, correct?
They do, but what I think he's waiting for is for them to
Well,
go
he has
spend
a-
money.
He has
And
an
then if they
opt-out year.
spend if they spend the money, if they say they spend like up to their cap or whatever, they don't have enough to cover his $25 million that he's owed, then they have no choice but to go ahead and get rid of him. So if they go after a guy like Russell Wilson or Rodgers or somebody, I mean, they're probably not getting Rodgers, but you know what I mean? Like if they go try to get that guy,
A high price guy.
right, and they are successful in doing so, Brady's gonna be like, oh, I don't want to retire, actually, guys. And then he's basically
Pull the Brett Favre.
yeah, that's basically what he's gonna do.
Dang.
And the whole time behind the scenes, allegedly, he has been talking to San Francisco and wants to go play there. Because, remember, that's where he's from. That's his hometown. That's who he grew up as a fan of. So he's always wanted to play there.
Why would you do that as... I mean, I get it.
Yeah,
At the
I
end of
think
the
that
day,
messes
you want to
him up.
win. Yeah, you want to win championships, and I get that's what the
Yeah.
organization's doing. And Brady is, for sure, going to help you more than Trey Lance. But like, why do well, that's what I'm saying. Like, why would you do that to Trey Lance? Like, if you're bringing in Brady, then are you giving up on Trey Lance, or you're just saying now he's got to learn behind the GOAT?
I think if you give him one more year, though, think about this. If Tom Brady does go and you give like Trey Lance one more year, what's the difference between that and Patrick Mahomes, right? With Alex Smith, right? The difference is, right, I get the years, right, is you gave him 2 years still, right? And the difference is he went from Garoppolo, who's a poor man's, not even a poor man. Bill Belichick wants him to be a poor man's Tom Brady, right? And then now you have Tom Brady for him to learn from, right?
Yeah.
So then you have that, and then say Tom Brady only does 2 more years, right? Because I don't see him just doing a 1 year deal, right? He might do 2 more years, right? Then you have 3 years done. He's going in his 4th year. Right before he gets to a contract, time for extension or whatever the case may be, he proves himself, right? It either works or it doesn't. But guess what? He had 2 years behind the GOAT, and if he's behind him, then hopefully he brings up some traits and you know how to be a professional. And then okay, cool. Now we should be good to go.
And this isn't unprecedented either because Rodgers sat 3 years behind Favre. So
Yeah, I'm not saying you can't. You're bringing up the singular, like issue, like the
only
one
great game.
time, yeah, like
The
the
one time it
Rogers sat behind Favre for 3 years. Yeah, sure, that's true.
Hey, Russell Wilson sat behind Matt Hasselbeck.
When?
No, he didn't.
I was just playing with y'all.
They brought in Matt Flynn.
Matt Flynn, bro. They
They
paid him
signed. They paid him a bunch of
ridiculous.
money, and then they were
Bro.
like, "Wow, this guy's pretty good." All right, Flynn, you're riding the bench.
I just pulled a Brian.
Russell started year one, but my only thing is, and then Pat Mahomes, that was different though, and Alex Smith had a good year that year, and it was only 1 year, and they made the decision to let him go, even coming off of a good victory. I mean, I think they won a playoff game that year, against the Colts, maybe. I could be lying. I could be making that up. I think they won a playoff game.
No. That's the year that they. Oh, they won the shit. I'm sorry. They lost. They ended up losing to the Titans though.
Yeah.
That year they ended up losing to the Titans, and that's the year they let them go. But the thing behind Alex Smith was they kept having a good team. They kept getting there, but they couldn't get over the hump, right?
Yeah, but
then I guess in the regular season though, that year when Patrick Mahomes played, he looked good. A lot of people were like, oh man, they got some talent behind there, right?
Yeah.
So like he looked good. He played well in those last 2 games, and that kind of opened everybody's eyes. Like, hey man, let's get this guy go, right?
And
so.
I completely understand. And I think that maybe not that the 49ers think they messed up, but like Trey Lance had chances this year to take the job away from Garoppolo, and he couldn't do it. He just couldn't do it. Whether that's because the playbook was too difficult for him to learn, like a NFL style offense, like right away, like who knows? And we don't know the person in general. Like obviously, Patrick Mahomes was like a freak. You know what I mean? Like the guy could make up for all that crap.
Both of them together are the same type of player, right? Like they're the same type of player as far as like athletic ability, right? They both have big arms. Patrick Mahomes' arm is a little bit stronger, right? Trey Lance is faster than Patrick Mahomes, right? Shifty. In college, they both took chances, right? Because if you look at that was a big hit that was on Trey Lance when he came out when they were talking about his draft stock. They're like, listen, he takes chances, right? But he has high upside. Same thing with Patrick Mahomes. He had a lot of interceptions, but he had high upside, right? So I really don't – I see the same thing, right? I just think that they try to put him early in the game, and he wasn't ready.
Yeah.
He wasn't ready just because that was a knock on him in the beginning. Like it's going to take a period of time for him to adjust. So
well, he didn't. Coming from what was it? Was it South Dakota or
North Dakota State?
North Dakota State.
Yeah.
Yeah, like he wasn't running a pro style offense. Like he only played like 1 game, right?
That year.
Oh yeah,
year.
he got injured that year.
So,
Yeah.
The year before though, they were in a pro style offense and he looked good. That's why they're going off his previous year film. Right.
I don't know. He was exactly what was advertised. He was going to come in the league raw, and he needed time to sit and learn.
Yep.
And so I think that's what he needs to do. I think he could be really good. He has the physical tools, like you've already said. He just needs to learn the pro style offense.
Yeah.
Long
story short, it's not going to hurt him.
Last thing
Sorry.
before we get out,
it's not gonna hurt him.
we're gonna go on to the great debate in a minute. But last thing, I want to give Kenny props because he's always been talking about Kyler Murray, and this man, all of the news coming out, it's like Kenny had an inside source or something like that. It's like he knew.
Man,
it's like he knew.
Call me Kenny Scheffler. You know what I mean?
Huh.
It's like
who used
he
to play
knew.
for Arizona that Kenny knows? That's all I'm gonna leave it right there.
But you know what, man? It was
no insiders.
we're not attributing anything. I'm just stating the fact that like
Correlations.
I am very impressed with the fact that you made this assessment about his work ethic and how he was a me guy and not like a team guy, and then boom, that's exactly what's being put out there in social media. I don't care what he says. The fact that you told me that, and the fact that all this stuff is coming out, I don't care what he puts on Instagram, on Facebook, or whatever. I'm not gonna believe a word he says, and I'm gonna take all these leaks coming out that like Arizona wants to move on from this guy. I heard trade rumors for the Vikings bringing over what's the guy, Kirk Cousins to Arizona. Like I'm telling you,
What?
That's I'm hearing stuff.
You're gonna go to Carson Palmer?
Yeah.
Like,
Not to say it's like the right move, but like, man, Kyler must be doing pretty poorly.
But I would say this to that point, right? That's been his character since he's been in college, right? That's why he left Texas A&M, right? That's why because he didn't like that he wasn't, getting the pub the next year like he's supposed to do, right? Because they had a lot of guys that transferred out. So he went to Oklahoma, right? And then when he played at Oklahoma, it was all about him. And it was cool. Like, he balled out. The numbers looked good. And it's all good when you win, right? When you win, it's all good. But anytime that you start losing, then that's when everybody starts pointing fingers. And I knew that he didn't grow up when he yelled at Larry Fitzgerald that one day. I watched Salsa's game, and Larry Fitzgerald, he threw the ball. It was a catchable ball for Larry Fitzgerald, right? But it was going to the ground. And it was like a 4th down, and Larry Fitzgerald dropped it. And he looked at Larry Fitzgerald like the face, like, come on, man, what the hell are you doing? And I was like, bro, you talking to a Hall of Famer like that. Like, this is your first year. You're a rookie, And when I saw that, I was like, okay, cool. And then he always used to go to the bench. If you watch it in the games, if you watch him, he goes to the bench and sit by himself. He sits by himself, and he's always, like, pouting or upset. All right, the only person that he don't get upset with is D-Hop, because D-Hop probably told him, like, hey, bro, like, don't play with me, bro. I'm not them. Don't play with me. Right? So that's probably the only.
I don't like what he's done to D-Hop. D-Hop, he does these like short to the line of scrimmage routes. Very rarely does any, because Kyler just can't give him the ball, or maybe it's the offensive line, but I don't like the receiver he's made D-Hop become.
Short route or let's go a scramble drill.
Yeah.
Scramble drill, and I throw it up and hopefully you can catch it, right?
Yeah. Ugh.
But that's because he holds the ball too long, right?
Yep.
And he wants things to be run his way. But then he gets hurt, then he wants to limp off and pity me. I don't know.
Yeah.
You should go play baseball. He's pretty good at baseball. He's pretty badass. I'm not gonna lie to you. And you can be a me guy in baseball.
Yes, you can.
Right? You can be a me guy and you get the pub and people like that, right? Tatis, people consider him a me guy. He's probably an awesome team player, right? But he's a me guy. I want the people to look at me, right? And Kyler Murray is that person, so he can do that in baseball.
As much as baseball is a team sport, it's a very individual sport.
Yeah.
There's not much that you have to do that's team oriented.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah. All right, that's it. That's all I got.
Well, I would say the great debate, but it's not really the great debate. This is a great discussion, right? Yeah. We were supposed to cover this, I believe, a couple weeks ago with all the coaching hirings and firings, but we chose to do this all in one segment. So, Ryan, you can go ahead and hit on, the hirings and or pretty much you can hit on who you guys like that got hired, right? Or who you guys disagree with, because the good, bad, and ugly. I don't really know too much on that because I saved it for this one.
Here's the thing, Kenny has no idea what's going on, so we're gonna do this the old-fashioned way, and I'm gonna go based on from chronological order of people that got hired up till present. So the first head coach, I'm pretty sure the first head coach that was hired was the Broncos. The Broncos hired the head coach, Nathaniel Hackett, the offensive coordinator for the Packers. Elway is putting all his chips in the table for Aaron Rodgers. So if the Broncos get Aaron Rodgers, this is a great signing for a head coach. Great job. If they don't get Aaron Rodgers, this guy's going to be one and done. There's no way. I don't know. I can't see this working out. And then they got the QB coach from Green Bay to be the offensive coordinator. So when I say all chips are in for Rodgers, that's what I mean. All chips are in for Rodgers in Denver. So Kenny, I don't know why you do that when you guys didn't win in Green Bay, right? If I'm Rodgers, why do I need the same coaches, right? We're going to do the same thing we did previously, right? You can't tell me that the offensive coordinator and the quarterback coach helped Rodgers out. They didn't, but he's a cocky guy, and I could see him not wanting to go somewhere and struggling with what Brady struggled with having an overbearing head coach, whereas Rodgers can go and basically he's the head coach of the Broncos. Yep. If he goes there. He's this guy's not going to tell me what to do. He's got this job because of me. This guy owes that's in his mind is he has the power in this relationship.
I don't think Rodgers is like Brady though. Right, in the sense Brady likes to be control of the game planning and things like that. I feel like Rodgers, me. Me? I think Rodgers likes, you know what I mean, to have a coach that has like a little bit of mouth, right, to give him a pushback. Because if something happens, then you have an scapegoat, right? I don't think Rodgers wants to deal with it the whole time and just me and I got a game plan. I got to do everything right. Like, no, I don't think that's him. No. He's like Kyler Murray. He's like a older, more mature Kyler Murray. Same mindset though, right? It's still me. It's still about what I want to do, right? That's my thought process. No. You can say no, but I don't know. Every time they lose, he said, well, that's not the play call, you know. It wasn't what it's supposed to be, blah, blah, blah.
He'd say that no matter what. Because he is a me guy. Dude, he is so selfish. He is so selfish that he still doesn't have a relationship with his brother anymore. And it's been like a decade or more since they got into a feud. His own brother. Like, I'm just saying, this guy is all about himself.
So you think he wants to be the head coach?
He's all about control.
Control.
Draft control, I would say.
Of everything.
Okay.
Well, yeah.
All right. I agree. Hey, my hands is up. I'm not saying nothing.
Arguably, he is more selfish than Brady.
Like, I don't think Brady's selfish.
I think Brady's the least selfish.
Yeah. Well, that boy didn't get paid no money.
Not recently. The last couple of last 4 years, he's been kind of a little bit more whiny and bitchy. But he kind of deserves it. He is the GOAT now, so he kind of can do that.
The difference between him and Rodgers is that Brady has a reason to complain because in spite of them not giving him weapons, he was still winning Super Bowls. So he's like, I don't know what you guys want. All right, I did it your way and we won. Can you maybe throw me a bone?
Give me something?
Can you give me something? Rodgers is like, I'm just gonna fold in the NFC Championship game because I can't get it done. Or unless you need to give me not only the best wide receiver in the league, can you give me the second best wide receiver in the league? Because I need both. I don't know.
I sometimes wonder if he actually cares about winning. I really do. It's his attitude.
I don't know.
He's got the best receiver in the league. He can't complain.
Hey, the second head coach hiring was another head scratcher to me. I didn't think this guy was a top candidate. Was Matt Eberflus. I think that's how you say it. Matt Eberflus. He was the defensive coordinator for the Colts. He's the head coach of the Bears now. Just another meh.
Whoop-de-doo.
Okay.
The Bears are going to continue to suck. Whee!
Kenny's face says it all.
I'm puzzled because I'm who the hell is that?
Uber who?
Uber. What I'm watching, Vikings right now? Uber Voots. I don't know.
Yeah. Hey, maybe he'll be good.
Bruh.
I hope the best.
I mean, yeah, good luck. I do hope that he does well, but I'm not holding my breath.
I mean, and then the Giants signed Brian Daboll.
Shocker.
Yeah,
they followed through with it.
Yeah, they went and got him. Not Brian Flores, Brian Daboll. I want to alleviate any confusion from Bill Belichick or any. He's our new listener. Hey, Ravens defensive coordinator. We don't need it. We don't care about that. Raiders GM. I don't care. Ooh, Josh McDaniels. And Josh McDaniels goes to the Raiders, as well as his GM counterpart that he took from New England as well, Dave Ziegler.
Ziegler.
Yeah. So
they went to the same. They were at the same college together, by the way. That's the
were they?
Yep.
Ooh, these guys are buddies.
Yes, they are.
Can you imagine going to college with your buddy and being like, "Hey, man, we're gonna run an NFL team one day," and then it coming true, you're actually, and it's Vegas too.
Yeah, it's crazy.
I wasn't a huge fan of this at first, just because I don't like McDaniels, and I think he did the Colts dirty. But
yeah, he did.
Yeah, facts. But the fact that he went there and he was like, Derek Carr's my guy, I have a little bit more respect for him. You know what I mean? I don't know. I like that. Because I'm a Derek Carr fan. So if he was gonna come in, I was gonna hate this guy from the start, McDaniels, because I was like, oh, he's gonna get rid of Derek Carr. I hope he goes to the Giants. F you guys.
Let's remember, he learned a lot from his mistakes in Denver. And when he went to
my
Denver,
gosh.
he started a firestorm of rumors that Jay Cutler was getting traded, which made Jay Cutler ask for a trade because he thought McDaniels was behind it. So like that's how Jay Cutler left Denver and went to Chicago. And so then he was left with Kyle Orton or whatever. That's what happened to the Broncos. So he learned from that.
I think by far that's the top hire this far, right? I think him going back home is like it's like a kid when you tell your parents you don't know what's going on, and you leave the house when you're 18 and you figure out real world is tough and you have to come back home and kind of back to your humble beginnings and find your way. I think he found his way now. I think he'll be very successful in Oakland, especially what they have done already. If they keep their defensive coordinator, I think it'll be pretty good. Not Oakland, my bad, Las Vegas. Sorry.
Come on. Either way, I hope it works out because I like that they kept Mr. Eyeliner. All right. And then the Jaguars. Oh, this one I'm actually pretty peeved about. Ken Dorsey, the quarterback coach for the Bills, got promoted to offensive coordinator. I was kind of hoping, as a Giants fan, that they were going to bring Ken Dorsey over to be the offensive coordinator. But he decided smartly to stay with the Bills with Josh Allen, better offense, and continue doing great things. But I selfishly wanted him to
with
go.
Daniel Jones bullshit.
Yep.
Hey,
broke neck.
These stop. These coaching hirings, some of them were head scratchers. Jacksonville hired Doug Peterson as their head coach, so he's getting another shot at it. He's a Super Bowl winning head coach. He's got that on his resume, but
Yeah.
I don't know. Whatever. And then the Dolphins hired Mike McDaniels.
Mike Jones. Ooh, Mike Jones. That's funny. That's my guy. If anybody, I did hear about him, right? And that's not why I say that's my guy, right? I do like him.
Really?
Right? Yeah, I do, man. I didn't. That's before me knowing he was a brother. I like him because he had a couple interviews and he was just like, I felt like he was like a down to earth dude, man. Like he was joking around, like he was just real chill, right? Sometimes you see some offensive coordinators, they're like super uptight and don't relax at all. So I thought like him just being like making us feel like he was just human and regular. I thought that was like the most admirable thing, like watching him, and I want to see him succeed, right? And him going into the Dolphins, I just hope that he doesn't take any bribes from the owner. But other than that, I think he's walking in a good situation, man. I think having somebody in there that's not an iron fist like Brian Flores, as people said he was, and then having that thought process or having that scheme like they had it at the 49ers, I think could be very beneficial. I think they could do a lot with Jalen Waddle and some of the other players they will have.
Jalen Waddle's so good. I love him. Hey, as long as he signs his I'm sure the Dolphins only care as long as he signs his NDA, he's good to go.
So
we need you to sign this real quick.
That's all I cared about.
Houston signs their head coach Lovie Smith, so he gets another crack at being a head coach. I think this is his third time.
I don't understand what they just did.
I don't know.
Why they? I forgot the other guy's name. But why'd they get rid of him just to sign the defensive coordinator, Lovie Smith, who's a retread coach, when I feel like what's-his-face was doing just fine?
Yeah.
Considering the roster that they had, and they
Culley?
won 4 games? Yeah, Culley.
Yeah.
I don't know. I feel like
They was like David, right?
I feel like they had
David
plans,
Culley, yeah.
and the plans fell through. I feel like that's what happened. So they fired Culley, thought they were going to get somebody else, maybe.
And then it didn't work.
Yeah, maybe it didn't work out. Maybe they wanted Flores, but then they didn't want him. They didn't want him because of the whole lawsuit. I mean, it's possible.
Yeah.
Come on, man. I like Lovie Smith with that beard, that white beard now.
That boy look like a black Santa Claus.
I think he's a listen. I think he's a good defensive coach. Good. I think he's a good defensive coach. I just don't know if he's going to be. He better have a good OC come in to help with Davis Mills. That's what I think.
Yeah, he has to. Because Davis Mills is not a bad player, man. He's not a bad player. They just need to have some scheme, and they're going to lose.
What about Deshaun Watson?
Nah, he's done in Houston, man.
Yeah, I don't think he's going to play in Houston ever again. I hope he could, but I don't know. But I think they're going to lose a couple players, so they need to reload for sure, whether that's free agent or the draft. I know they got some, capital, but again, the owners is a pain in the ass too, right? So it's like it's a lot of little flags that even though Houston's a great city and people want to go there, right? No state taxes, all the strip clubs, all the bars, all you know what I mean. For like NFL players, you can have it up there, but the owner and dealing with the GM and all, it's like that's a lot, man.
Yeah.
So. And they're trying to change the image, getting Lovie Smith in, like, okay, a guy that's been, around the block a few times, but it's like, it's more to do, man.
Oh, and
it's still, okay.
Oh, I just was gonna say a sneaky place for Deshaun Watson to land is Pittsburgh, because he's connected to Flores. Flores is now in Pittsburgh. Just saying.
What is Flores in Pittsburgh?
Is a defensive assistant of some sort?
He's on the Bill Belichick. I'm not the Bill Belichick, the Nick Saban.
Yeah.
The Nick Saban. Just come on to my staff. You get minimal pay. We'll keep you on here.
Yeah.
Get you another job. Yeah. That's too easy, man.
And then the last one was just an elevation of Dennis Allen as the head coach for the Saints.
Which I thought was good too, right? Keep it in-house.
Yeah.
The defense has been rocking for the last century. So, like, I thought that was good. Keep things in there.
Last century? Holy shit.
I'm
They were good at defense before football was football. Okay?
No, like the last few years, they've been really good. They've been really solid. And
I have one
They
more.
always game plan and scheme versus teams, right? When Tampa Bay came in there and made Tom Brady look pedestrian, right? Like a lot of guys come in there and make them look pedestrian. So, go ahead, my bad, Ryan.
Oh, and the last one's Kevin O'Connell, the Vikings head coach.
Next. I don't have nothing to say.
Didn't he just win a Super Bowl?
Yes, he did. He's
Hey.
OC for the Rams.
Let me know how your boy Ben McAdoo's doing over in for Carolina. He went to the Panthers. I hate this guy.
Yeah. You need to call coach up and be like, what are you doing?
Listen. I don't know, man.
Sorry.
Joe Brady for Ben McAdoo?
Yeah.
Exactly.
Exactly.
Anyway, but now to the Vikings head coach, I thought he was just a product of his environment.
Yep.
Right.
And
He's not calling the plays like that. It's Sean McVay.
And the offensive coordinator was not the problem in Carolina. It was the quarterback that was the problem.
For sure.
And it didn't matter which one was out there. Sorry to all three of them, but sorry. They weren't good.
Damn.
It is what it is, man.
Another thing I liked that the Raiders did was they stole Patrick Graham from the Giants, who was getting considerable head coaching vibes this year. He got like a couple interviews, and he turned the Giants defense around the last couple of years. He did as good as he can do with what he was given, and so that was a good move by McDaniels. So he's got a good coaching staff. So if he can, keep it up, they might be good. Raiders might
They're
be
going to be
sneaky.
decent, bro. They're going to be decent just because you have players, right? And he can game plan now. McDaniels can game plan. If anybody can game plan, McDaniels can game plan. You give him a rock and two sticks, and he can make things happen, right? Like, so I think the sky's up for Las Vegas for sure.
Hey, when does the trade window open up for the NFL?
I think the New Year
I'm not
is
exactly
March.
sure.
Is it after the tag? After the
I don't know.
tag. I was just curious because the Patriots. I'm just thinking what the Patriots have to do with Jason.
Man, we don't care nothing about the Patriots.
I'm thinking about it, okay, and I want to know if they can
All
make
right,
trades.
well, the people don't care about doggone the Patriots. J.C. Jackson's going to stay. They're going to pay him money. I saw they're going to give him 60, 70 million. He's going to stay 4 years, 5 years. Yeah, it is.
I
He's
don't
gonna stay.
think so.
All right.
That's not the Bill
Well-
Belichick way. The Bill Belichick way is like, hey, I can take that $18 million a year I was going to spend on you. I'm going to get rid of you, and I'm going to go get myself
They didn't do that with
some
Stephon Gilmore.
retreads. Huh?
When he took Stephon Gilmore contract from the Bills, that was a big contract.
No.
People were like,
no,
what
no,
in the world?
No, he traded for Stephon Gilmore and then gave him the contract after.
Yeah.
And then, but that was because he had Malcolm Butler at the time, and he wanted leverage on Butler. So that's why.
Anyway,
March 16th.
That's all we got, Ryan.
March 16th, free agency period begins at 4 p.m.
And that's when they can start trading?
Yeah. Well, that's when free agency starts, so I imagine that you can start trading at that time.
Okay.
Trading period begins on, March 16th at 4 p.m.
Cool. All right, cool. Thank you.
Cool.
Stuff's about to heat up.
So much for the coaches. We're talking about the damn Patriots.
Well, we're done with the coaches. What else do you want to talk about the coaches?
Sorry, whenever
I don't want to talk about the Patriots.
We brought up Kevin O'Connell, and you're like, I ain't got nothing for that. So, like, we moved on. That's what we did, Kenny. We transitioned.
Dude, March, the new year when free agency period starts, that's like one of my favorite times, like finding out who signs where, because it's all it is filled with optimism, because no one's
all
injured,
the rumors.
No one's playing football. Yeah, that tampering period, which is like the most bogus thing ever. There's like a 3-day tampering period where like people are signing in principle to teams.
They're tampering right now.
Yeah. Yeah. Schefter's got like 8 tweets queued up for a couple weeks.
For sure.
All right, I'm done.
But yeah, that does it for the great discussion debate, whatever you want to call it for today. Right? You like how I did that? That was kind of rhyme. That was kind of great discussion debate. Oh, whatever you want to call it for today.
Yo, cut it up.
Anyway.
Cut it up.
Anyway, no BK bets. I tried to put a bet in for you guys. I did something crazy, right? I put something big and it didn't hit.
Oh, no.
But it is. I lost my money too, so it's okay. But I'll put more picks in this week for college and NBA, and then I might put a hockey in just to show Brian some love. And just I'll put them in probably like 2-3 teamers, but the rest of them will be like single picks, so you guys can mix and match however you feel. So. As always, we definitely appreciate you guys tuning in. And then, share, tell your friends, everybody, come watch so we can change these algorithms up and then we can get things popping. So have a good week. We love you guys and we'll see y'all next week. Peace.